welcome to another Warcraft the Audio Commentary. Today, guys, we're going to be watching a wonderful game. Probably wonderful game. It's probably going to be amazing. I feel like I say that often, and sometimes it's not true, but hopefully this time it will be absolutely stunningly true. Let's introduce our wonderful players, because that much is absolutely a statement of fact. On the right side of the map, we have a red human, the one and only TH000. Indeed, he is absolutely a fantastic, wonderful player. And the map, naturally, is going to be Echo Isles. He's going to be playing against the Teal Elf, spawning on the left side of the map. His name, EleGaNt, although he is playing under the name of Ricard. So we can call him either one, and Ricard is fun to say, so we might call him Ricard. Ricard the Elf. Oh, I like it. This is played for the Dog Cup broadcast. Can't hate that. It's a pretty fantastic thing to be able to see all these games coming out of China right now. Also, the WCA, which just happened. Huge unfortunate situation over there with the English stream. Like, just absolutely depressing at every level. The fact that they flew all the way out there and then all of that happened is just crushing. I can't even imagine how much, like, just... I don't think I could have handled it. That is so rough to have that happen. But what I've been told is that they have all the replays, and so all the games that they weren't able to cast, they're going to cast from VOD, which will be pretty cool. Or they'll cast from replay, which will be pretty cool. So we will get to see the games. I'm excited. I think we're all excited to see those games. The Back to Warcraft guys are pretty cool. So if you haven't checked them out, you know, check them out on YouTube. I think they're /Back2Warcraft, and it's a big letter or number 2. So. Also, I believe they have the same thing on twitch.tv/Back2Warcraft, so definitely check them out. They do good work. Mountain King coming out as the first hero for our good elf player, or our good human player here, Mr. TH000. He's going to go for the militia creep on the mercenary camp, see what he can do, kill the renegade wizard, kill the slow kobold geomancer casting guy. He's a fun guy. Also, kobold tunnelers, they cast bash, which makes him a bit of a turn to deal with. But on the left side, we do have a dark ranger being picked up. We didn't really get to look at the exact builds, but kind of obvious that it was going to be a tavern hero, and on this map it's almost always the Dark Ranger, because this is naturally a wonderful Dark Ranger map, just by all means necessary. I don't know if that makes sense, but by all means necessary. No, by all necessary means. The Dark Ranger is wonderful on this map, gets so many of these little lesser dark minions, and does some legit work. We're going to see these wonderful kobolds just getting a very awful lightning shield that might take the wisp down. No, EleGaNt, way too good for this kind of play. He's like, I ain't going to be losing my wisp. Moves it over that 6 of the HPs. Does lose the Ancient of War. I won't lie, that's not what you want to have happen, but he does pick up a Claws of Attack +9, which is not maybe the best drop, but it is a fantastic drop to be picking up as the Dark Ranger. +9 damage right off the start is fantastic. Plus, he's getting plus damage from the Dark Arrow whenever he attacks already. So this dude's going to be hitting like a truck. The Mountain King on this side of the map did pick up the Talisman of Evasion, which is a pretty darn good item for the Mountain King, I would say, against this strategy, because he's going to have to do a fair amount of tanking. Whether he decides to keep it or not is one of those things you never really know. I think it depends on how the game goes. I think if the game's going really well, he will keep it, because it does improve his tankiness quite a bit. He's got 800 life and 3 armor at level 2, adding 15% evasion. Makes him, I mean, that's a lot of effective health right off the bat. The only problem with it, the only problem is that chances are in the early game, right, it's not going to be that useful. So this is more of a late game item where it's in terms of how useful it is. It's late. So sometimes the gold's worth it in the early. So if the game's going really well, then maybe you can just keep it. Otherwise, you sell it for gold and get some kind of other early game advantage. And the reason that it's not very good early on is because of the fact that he's not really focusing your Mountain King. He's focusing your Footman, and you know this because he's going for skeletons. And so your Mountain King gets marginal benefit out of tanking items. Gloves of Haste, on the other hand, good all game long for this guy because he's got bashes, whether he has it in the early game or not. Increases his DPS, eventually increases his bashes, which also increases his DPS. Gonna walk right by that Tree of Life and not see it. He kind of was scouting for that. I have to wonder if that's not a timing by TH000 or by EleGaNt to put that down, just at the perfect timing, where the Mountain King doesn't see it. I have no idea. I wouldn't put it past TH000 because or EleGaNt. I keep calling him TH000. TH000 is the red player. Mind, come on, brain. Yeah, but I wouldn't put it past EleGaNt because EleGaNt is just a fantastic, wonderful player. Anyway, so we're going to see the first little bolt kill. And actually, he is focusing the Mountain King, which is weird. I wasn't expecting that. So he actually maybe shouldn't have sold that, as it turns out. Because frankly, he's taking a lot of damage and he's going to be forced to run away. I mean, normally you see them focus down the units, which is what... But I will say this, the one difference about this, if you go for the Mountain King instead of the Footman, you do kind of force the human away. If you say, okay, I absolutely don't want the human player or anywhere near my units right now, then you can just right-click that guy and kind of force him out. It doesn't keep him that bay for too terribly long, because they are mercenaries and they also have the ability... Usually they'll have a shop up by now here, but it looks like Thu's just going to say... I'm just going to go ahead and play this in a way that is very much aggressive and go straight for the most greedy play that I can and just not get the shop. Anyway, we're going to see a Bolts round get messed up by Thu, which is something you don't see happen very often on this panda that was just picked up by EleGaNt, also known as EleGaNt. He's trying to get to the shop so he can pick up some boots of speed or a staff or anything. Going to get bashed as well. He's going to be taken down. There is a Wisp, however, that came in to drain just a little bit of mana. That mana actually going to be significant as it takes the Mountain King down to 13 mana. And the Forest Shadow Priest not too worried about it, but he still has mana issues as well. This is actually funny because, really, that Talisman of Evasion would have helped him by quite a bit. He would basically be roughly 15% more life, and he's actually going to lose the Mountain King. I don't know. I think the greedy play didn't pay off this time, which is something that you rarely see when we're dealing with someone like Thu, who's just obviously like superhumanly good. I'm going to pick up the Mountain King from the tavern and TP on back, so... In some ways, at least he can afford to buy it, right? Because he did sell the talisman. So, hardy har. Anyway, so the Dark Ranger here is taking some damage from these two footmen. It's not too terribly bad because he can just micro away. He's a very fast hero, even though he doesn't happen to have boots of speed. He does have a +6 claws of attack as well as a circlet. So he's got bunches of damage, plus 17 damage, just doing so much work. And you can see how many of these little skeletons he has once he decided to start going for those units. I mean, his army built up so ridiculously fast. Just absolutely insane. And we do have a viewer comment saying by Sweet W3 saying that, you know, a good point is that the reason he's focusing the Mountain King is because he got those +9 claws of attack. And I will definitely not disagree. The amount of damage he is blowing away is just ridiculously disgusting. I mean, he is hitting for I don't even know how much, but I want to say it's around 50 a hit. Not quite that high, but you know, it's a lot of damage. I mean, that is to put that into perspective, okay? Level 1 Coil does 70 damage to heroes. And my brain just can't comprehend it. It's like, whoa! This Dark Ranger is hitting for not, like I said, I don't think it's exactly going to be 50 damage, but he's hitting pretty daggone hard because he has to deal with the fact that there's armor. So that's going to reduce his damage. Otherwise, obviously, he could be hitting for. I'm going to try to do the math on stream, which I can never do. 48 plus 2, 55, but 55 and then reduced by armor. It's a lot of damage. I mean, that's his high end, obviously. He does have a low end, and it averages out. But the point is, he's hitting hard. He's hitting like a truck, and that is always fun. You're going to be creeping up with that panda a little bit. Creeping with the Dark Ranger too, you may as well. Look, the thing is 7 XP away. In fact, I would argue that he probably should have not had the panda there. Just because level 5 is so close to being within reach, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because he can come over here. He can creep out some more stuff if he wants it. He can go for the harass if he wants it. At level 5, there's not really any shortage of what he gets to do. When you're 7 XP away, just 1 kill on anything at all, will put you in a good spot. Ogre Magic going to go down, picking up the Potion of Invulnerability. That's 15 seconds of invulnerability on the Mountain King, who is level 4 now. There's a Tome of Strength right there. He may not go for it. He doesn't really have the time to go for it. He's going to go for that Dark Ranger, trying to get the surround off on it if he can prevent any kills. He doesn't know how close that is to level 5, and really, there's not a lot he could do about that. But there it is. Level 5 has now been picked up. He's focusing on the Mountain King once again. Let's just see if he will hit that Mountain King. He's got it on Invul popped already, so he's not too worried about it. Fighting it, he's losing all of those footmen. Down and down they go, being converted into Greater Dark Minions, which are an absolutely wonderful unit. Very much like a better footman, in my opinion. They have 405 life, a fairly large hitbox, and 16 to 19 damage. It's normal. It hurts. Mountain King, I was trying to click on, I don't know how low he was, but very low. Doing a good job cutting with that Dryad, making sure he doesn't lose it at 26 HP with that Footman, just following right behind, just wanting and smelling blood, just going, I'm gonna kill it, but not able to do that and actually dying himself. So that's the moral of the story. If you chase someone with a knife who has a spear, you're out of your bloody mind. One of the things that we have to contend with on this map is that there's only one gold mine. So the human advantage that they try to have in terms of economics, they usually don't have a massive advantage against elf players because elf players tend to be able to keep up in terms of expos. It's kind of in the late game where we can start to see the human player taking map control with good choke point, micro, and the late game strategy that they have where they do some really cool stuff. But on a map like this, there's not really any expansion, so for Thu, he doesn't really have any way to come back from this except trying to take a superior fight, and the Mountain King's going to go down. He's going to call a good game. He really had no options, losing his Mountain King so many times, losing all of his units twice, I believe it was, in that game, to that Dark Ranger. That Dark Ranger was just brutal with the claws. He was doing so much damage, wrecking. Once he was level 5, I mean, that's we didn't even consider how much damage he's getting added from the Dark Arrow, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember because I always get that number confused with the Dota one, so I'm not even gonna guess on it. But I know it's additional damage, which I want at least 10 additional damage, I want to say. So that is a big deal as well. Well, that was game number 1, and EleGaNt just lost to Thu, or just beat Thu, I'm sorry. I'm so used to Thu winning. EleGaNt just trumped him. He completely trounced Thu. He just made it look so easy to beat a human like that. Just made it look so easy, which is always a hallmark of a good player, in my opinion. If you can beat the world's best human, most likely. I mean, I would still call Thu the world's best human. He's not quite as dominating as he used to be, about a year ago. I think, he's got some serious competition between Yumiko and Hawk right now, but I will say, what a game. That's game number 1. This is for the Dog Cup broadcast. So, we're going to go ahead and go to break for just a couple minutes, and we'll be right back with game number 2. Stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Love you.